The space around the Orion belt was quiet, filled with the soft glow of distant stars. In that silence, a small human exploration ship named Aurora moved slowly through the darkness. The ship was old but strong, built to travel far from Earth in search of new life and new knowledge. Inside it were 6 humans, each busy with their duties. Among them was Aaron, a young engineer who loved to fix things. He was simple, calm, and curious about the world beyond Earth. Aaron was sitting near the control console, checking the ship's scanner. The machine had been acting strange for days, showing signals that made no sense. The captain, an older man named Real, had asked him to run a deep scan before they changed direction. Aaron adjusted the frequency, waiting for the system to respond. The scanner blinked and then began to show a pattern of lights that pulsed in rhythm. It looked almost like a message. Captain Aaron called out, his voice steady but curious. "You should see this." Real walked over and leaned closer to the screen. The lights formed a circle, then shifted into a spiral. It was unlike any natural signal they had seen. The captain frowned. "Could be interference," he said. "Or maybe a ship using a code we don't know." But before anyone could decide, the ship began to shake. The light outside turned bright white. The scanners started flashing warnings. Aaron grabbed the edge of the console. The crew shouted in confusion as the ship was pulled forward by an invisible force. "Engines offline." "Out!" shouted one of the crew members. "We're being dragged." The ship tumbled, and the stars disappeared from view. A beam of pure energy surrounded the Aurora and pulled it down toward a glowing planet below. Aaron tried to stabilize the ship, pressing buttons and switching to manual control. But it was useless. The power systems were unresponsive. All they could do was hold on. When the shaking stopped, the Aurora had landed softly on the surface of the unknown planet. The air around them shimmered with color, and tall trees that looked like glass swayed gently in the wind. The ground was covered with blue, sand that glowed faintly under the light of 2 suns. Aaron was the first to unbuckle and stand up. "We're alive," he said quietly. He walked toward the viewing window and stared outside. The landscape looked peaceful, but there was something powerful in the air. As if the planet itself was alive, Captain Real ordered everyone to stay calm. "We'll go out in pairs. Helmets on. Stay alert," he said. Aaron stepped out with another crew member named Lien. The air was breathable, surprisingly warm. The sound of soft music filled the space, but it wasn't coming from any source. It seemed to come from the air itself. Suddenly, figures appeared from the forest. They were tall and graceful, their skin shining like crystal. Their eyes glowed faintly, changing color as they moved. They carried no weapons, but their presence was commanding. Aaron froze. The beings walked closer in silence. One of them spoke, and though the language was unknown, it carried a tone of authority. Another being, smaller and wearing a silver robe, stepped forward. Her hair was like flowing light, and her eyes were calm and curious. She looked at Aaron for a long moment. Then she turned to the others and spoke again. The larger figures bowed slightly to her, showing respect. Aaron understood that she was someone important, maybe a leader or perhaps royalty. She took a step closer to him and placed her hand over her chest in a gesture that seemed formal. Then, pointing at him, she said words that were strange, yet somehow clear through the translator on his wrist. "I want him." The words echoed in the air. The humans around Aaron looked at each other in shock. Captain Real took a cautious step forward. "Wait, what do you mean?" he asked through the translator. The tall beings raised their hands, asking for silence. The one who had spoken, the princess, looked at Real calmly. "He is the one chosen by the light," she said through the translator. "He must come with me." Aaron's heart raced. "Chosen by the light? I don't understand," he said softly. The princess turned to him again. "You carry the mark of harmony," she said. "Our ancestors showed me a vision of a being like you. You will help us restore balance to our world." Real tried to protest, but the aliens did not seem aggressive. They simply watched, waiting for the humans to agree. After a few moments of silence, Aaron nodded slowly. "If I can help, I will go, he said. He didn't know why, but something deep inside told him this moment mattered. The aliens bowed slightly and gestured for him to follow. Aaron walked beside the princess, while the rest of the crew stayed near the ship, under the watch of the alien guards. As they moved through the forest, Aaron looked around in wonder. The trees glowed faintly, and the air was filled with floating lights that moved like fireflies. The ground felt soft, like walking on smooth sand, mixed with warmth. After some time, they reached a great city. It was unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. Towers of crystal stretched into the sky, connected by bridges of light. The entire city seemed alive, humming with energy. The people watched him with quiet curiosity as he walked beside their princess. At the heart of the city stood a palace made of living crystal, changing color as if it were breathing. Inside, the air shimmered with soft light. The princess led him through wide halls, lined with glowing patterns that shifted like waves. At the end of the corridor stood 2 thrones, and on them sat 2 majestic figures. One was a tall man with silver hair and a crown that glowed faintly. The other was a woman with calm eyes and a gentle voice. Aaron realized they must be the king and queen. The princess bowed before them. The king looked at Aaron, studying him closely. "You bring a human to our hall," he said slowly, his voice deep and calm. "Why?" The princess lifted her head and said, "He is the one from the vision. He is the one who will help us restore the balance of the heart crystal." The queen looked uncertain. "A human?" she said softly. "They come from a world far less advanced. What can he do that our own kind cannot?" The princess answered with confidence. "The vision showed me his face. The energy chose him, not us." Aaron stood still, unsure of what to say. He bowed his head slightly as a sign of respect. "I do not understand what this vision means," he said, "but if I can help, I will try." The king watched him for a long moment, then nodded. "Very well," he said. "You shall stay among us until the truth is known. But remember, human, our world is not as gentle as it looks." The queen rose from her throne and stepped closer to Aaron. "You will be given shelter," she said kindly. "You may learn our language and ways. Perhaps then we will know why you were chosen." The princess smiled, her eyes soft with gratitude. "Thank you, father." "Thank you, mother," she said as Aaron was led to his quarters. He felt a mix of confusion and wonder. He looked out the window at the glowing city below. Everything around him was beyond imagination. Yet he could not shake the feeling that something was waiting for him. Something big, something dangerous. Later that night, he sat near a glowing wall that acted as a light source. The translator crystal attached to his arm began to hum gently, absorbing the sounds of the alien language and teaching him words in return. He repeated them quietly, learning slowly. He thought about his crew back on the Aurora, about Captain Reel and the others. He hoped they were safe. Suddenly, a soft knock came at the door. When he opened it, the princess was standing there. She smiled gently. "You are comfortable?" she asked. "Yes," Aaron said. "Your people are kind. But I still don't understand why I am here." She stepped inside and looked at the glowing patterns on the wall. "Long ago, our world was bright and full of power," she said. "The heart crystal in the center of our planet gave life to everything, but now it weakens. Our people cannot repair it because the design was made by our ancestors, who are long gone. I saw a vision in the sacred pool. It showed a being from another world who would come to help us restore it. That being was you." Aaron looked at her, unsure of how to respond. "I'm only an engineer," he said. "I fix machines, not living energy." She smiled slightly. "Sometimes the smallest spark can bring light to the darkest place," she said. "You may be that spark." Her words stayed with him long after she left. He lay awake, staring at the shifting light on the ceiling, wondering what destiny had brought him to this world. He did not know what awaited him next, but deep inside, a quiet voice whispered that this was only the beginning of something far greater than he could imagine. The sun rose over the crystal city, casting rays of gold and blue across the tall towers. The light bounced off every surface, making the city shine like a living gem. Aaron stood near the window of his chamber, looking out in awe. He still could not believe where he was. The palace was enormous, built from glowing stone that changed color as the light shifted. Every corner had flowing designs that pulsed like veins. Carrying a gentle light through the walls, he touched the smooth surface of the window. It was warm and soft like skin, not cold like glass. The Valeri world was alive in every sense. He had been given clothes made of thin silver fabric that felt light and comfortable. When he looked at his reflection in the crystal mirror, he almost did not recognize himself. He looked like a visitor from a dream. The door opened softly. A young Valeri attendant entered, holding a tray with fruit that glowed faintly. The attendant bowed slightly and said, "The princess wishes to see you." Aaron nodded and followed. The hallway outside stretched endlessly, lit by lines of light that floated in the air. The walls shimmered like water. When he reached the great hall, he saw Princess Mira standing near a large circular window. The view showed the whole city below and a massive structure in the distance that rose from the ground like a glowing mountain. "That is the Heart Tower," Mira said, noticing his gaze. "It protects the energy that keeps our world alive." Aderon stepped closer. "It looks beautiful," he said. "Is that where the balance you spoke of lies?" Mira nodded. "Yes, but its power weakens. For many cycles, we have tried to restore it. Our engineers failed. Our energy guides cannot control the flow anymore. Without it, our cities will fade, and the forests will turn dark." "I saw you in the vision because the energy itself chose you," Aaron tried to understand. "I'm just an engineer. I fix machines and engines. I don't know anything about living energy." She turned to him with a calm smile. "Our energy is not only life. It is order, harmony, and rhythm. Machines respond to those who understand connection. You repair machines because you feel how they work. That feeling is what we have lost." Their words stayed with him. He realized that to them, science and life were one. Every tool, every wall, every stone was connected to the same living current. Later that morning, the king summoned him to the council chamber. The room was filled with Valeri nobles and scholars. They stood tall, their crystal-like skin glowing with gentle light. The king sat at the center with the queen beside him. When Aaron entered, all eyes turned toward him. The king spoke first. "Human, my daughter believes that you can save the heart crystal. I do not know if I believe such a thing, but she has never spoken falsely. If she says the light chose you, then we must listen. Tell me, how would your kind heal something beyond your understanding?" Aaron bowed slightly. "I don't know yet, Your Majesty, but I can learn. If I can study your technology, maybe I can find what is wrong. I'll need access to your energy systems and your engineers." The council whispered among themselves. The queen raised a hand to silence them. "You may try," she said, "but know this. The Heart Tower is sacred. No one who enters its core returns unchanged." Mira looked at Aaron with trust. "I will go with him," she said. The king looked uncertain but nodded. "So be it. You both shall go." That evening, Mira and Aaron stood before the Heart Tower. The structure rose high into the clouds, glowing softly from within. The base was surrounded by pools of liquid light that moved like calm water. Valeri guards bowed as the princess approached. The entrance opened silently, revealing a wide path leading into the tower's core. Inside, the air was thick with energy. Every wall pulsed like a heartbeat. Aaron's skin tingled as if small sparks were dancing across it. The deeper they went, the stronger the energy became. At the center, they reached a vast chamber filled with glowing crystals. In the middle stood a large core crystal, cracked along one side. Light leaked from it, forming waves that filled the air with soft sound. "This is the heart crystal," Mira said quietly. "It connects every city, every living thing. When it breaks, our harmony breaks too." Aaron stepped closer and examined the cracks. He could see strange marks burned into the surface. They looked like circuits, but not made by any tool. They were organic, like veins spreading from a wound. He reached out and felt a pulse under his fingers. It was warm and alive. He turned to Mira. "Your ancestors built this. Yes, she said. They called it the Song of Life. They shaped it with light and thought. But their knowledge faded long ago. Only fragments remain. Aaron looked around at the smaller crystals floating nearby. They moved in slow rhythm, as if responding to the main crystal's heartbeat. This looks like a network, he said. Maybe I can trace where the energy is leaking. He took out a small human scanner from his belt. The Valeri guards watched nervously, but Mira raised her hand to calm them. Aaron ran the scanner across the cracks, reading strange signals. The device began to spark. The readings were far beyond what it could handle. It's not just energy, Aaron said. It's thought. It feels like something is alive inside this structure. Mira nodded. The crystal is alive. It listens, but it has been silent for many years. Can you hear it? Aaron listened carefully. At first he heard nothing but faint humming. Then he closed his eyes. Beneath the hum was a soft sound, like whispering waves. He could almost hear words, but could not understand them. He opened his eyes slowly. I think it's trying to communicate, he said. Myra's eyes brightened. Then there's hope. Maybe you can awaken it. Aaron spent the next few hours studying the structure. The more he worked, the more he felt connected to it. Every vibration, every flicker of light made sense in some hidden way. He began to see patterns that looked like codes, but instead of numbers, they used rhythm and tone. The Valeri engineers watched in amazement as Aaron adjusted panels and reconnected broken energy lines. When he touched one of the smaller crystals, it glowed brighter. The heart crystal responded with a low sound that filled the entire chamber. The walls pulsed in harmony. It's responding to you, said Mira softly. No Valeri has ever made it sing again. Aaron smiled slightly. Maybe it recognizes the effort, not the origin. But just as he said that, the crystal pulsed suddenly, and a wave of light burst from the crack. Everyone stepped back. The floor trembled. Aaron shielded his eyes. A shadow appeared within the crystal, a dark shape moving inside the light. What is that? He shouted. Mira's expression turned serious. That is the echo. It is what we fear most. When the crystal began to weaken, something within it awoke. It feeds on imbalance. The shadow grew larger, pressing against the inside of the crystal. The guards raised their hands, ready to defend. The queen's voice echoed through a communication orb floating near Mira. You must leave at once. The echo must not awaken. But Aaron stepped forward. If we run, it will keep growing. I can stabilize it for now. He adjusted his scanner and focused a light beam into the crack. The crystal shone brighter. The shadow froze, then slowly began to fade. Mira watched as the hum softened again. The danger passed, but only for a moment. When they left the chamber, the king awaited them outside. His face showed concern. The echo stirred again, did it not? He asked. Mira nodded. Yes, father. But Aaron stopped it. The heart responded to him. The king turned to the human. You have courage, and perhaps more understanding than I expected. But you must be careful. The crystal remembers everything. If you touch it too deeply, it may remember pain. Aaron nodded. Then I'll be careful. But I can't stop now. There's something inside it that needs to be fixed and something that's trying to stop me. That night, Aaron returned to his chamber. He sat near the window, staring at the glowing towers. The Valeri world was beautiful, but fragile. He thought about the echo, a shadow living within a heart of light. It felt like more than a malfunction. It felt alive. Mira visited again, her presence calm as always. She looked at him and said, You saw it, didn't you? The darkness in the crystal. Yes, he said. It felt like a memory, not a creature. Maybe something happened long ago that still echoes inside. She nodded. Then we must learn the truth together, Aaron agreed. He knew now that his arrival on this world was no accident. Something ancient had called him here, and whatever it was waiting deep within the heart of this living planet. The next morning began with a gentle hum that filled the air. The palace walls glowed brighter than usual, as if the world itself was preparing for something important. Aaron stood on the balcony of his room looking over the shining city. The events from the day before still played in his mind. The heart crystal was damaged, and inside it lived something dark, something ancient. He had stopped it once, but he knew it was not over. Princess Myra arrived soon after, wearing light armor made from silver-blue plates that shimmered in the sunlight. Her expression was calm, but focused. "The council has decided," she said. "They want us to return to the Heart Tower and find what caused the first fracture. The records of the ancients are hidden in the lower chambers. No one has gone there for centuries." Aaron nodded. "Then that's where we start." They left the palace together. The journey through the city was quiet. People stopped to look at them, a human walking beside their princess. Some Valeri bowed in respect. Others whispered in confusion. It was clear that many did not believe an outsider could help. At the base of the Heart Tower, the guards opened the gate and bowed to the princess. The great doors parted, and the hum of the living structure greeted them again. Inside, the light pulsed softly, like a giant heartbeat guiding their path. The deeper they went, the more ancient the surroundings became. The smooth walls gave way to stone-like surfaces marked with strange symbols. Aaron noticed that the light in these areas was weaker. Dust floated through the air. The silence felt heavy, as if time itself had stopped here. This part of the tower was built by the first singers, Mira explained. They shaped the heart crystal with sound and thought. These halls keep the memories of their songs. Aaron studied the carvings. They looked like waves frozen in stone. He ran his fingers over them, and a faint vibration passed through his hand. "They used resonance," he said quietly. "Sound energy to control light flow. That's how they built the crystal." Myra looked at him with surprise. "You understand it already?" He smiled slightly. "I can feel the rhythm. Machines work the same way. You find their balance, and they respond." As they continued downward, the air grew colder. The light changed from blue to deep purple. In one chamber, they found a large, round platform surrounded by floating crystal shards. The floor was covered with symbols that glowed faintly when Mira stepped near them. "This must be one of the memory chambers," she said. "If we activate it, we might see what happened before the heart crystal broke." Aaron crouched down and examined the floor. "It's powered by harmonic energy. If I match the frequency, it should play back the memory." He took out his small human device again. Though simple, he had modified it to work with the Valeri energy system. After a few adjustments, he emitted a low hum from the device. The floor began to vibrate, and the floating shards lit up. The air shimmered, and a soft image appeared, a projection made of light. They watched in silence as the vision unfolded. It showed Valeri figures long ago, standing before the heart crystal when it was whole and shining. They sang in harmony, their voices merging into one tone that filled the entire chamber. The crystal pulsed brighter with every note. Then, suddenly, the tone broke. A dark wave spread through the room. One of the Valeri screamed, and the crystal cracked for the first time. The vision froze there. "What happened?" Aaron asked. Mira's face turned pale. The record said the first singers vanished after the last song. No one knew why. It was believed that the crystal weakened naturally. But this shows something else. Aaron looked closer at the image. He noticed a figure among the singers who stepped back as the others fell. That figure's eyes glowed with dark light. "There," he said, pointing. "That's not the same light as the others. That's the shadow we saw inside the crystal." Mira nodded slowly. "It must have been born that day. A piece of consciousness turned dark. It became the echo," Aaron understood now. "Then it's not just energy corruption. It's a memory trapped in the system, a living thought that refuses to fade." Before they could discuss more, the floor beneath them trembled. The projection flickered and vanished. A deep sound came from the walls, like a distant roar. The purple light turned red. "The echo knows we are here," Mira said quickly. Aaron looked around. "We need to move. The energy field is unstable." They ran through the corridor as the walls pulsed violently. Cracks formed in the crystal veins, spilling waves of red light. The hum turned into a loud vibration that shook the ground. They reached a small chamber where a broken gateway stood. Mira activated her armband, creating a light shield over the entrance. The vibration stopped slowly, and silence returned. Aaron leaned against the wall, catching his breath. That thing tried to trap us. Mira nodded. It is awake now. Every time we touch the heart's memories, it feels it. He looked at her. Then we have to go deeper. The answers are at the core. But next time, we need a way to fight back. Mira placed her hand on the glowing floor. The ancient weapon of the singers was not made of metal. It was made of harmony. If we can find the lost song, we might be able to weaken the echo. They spent the next hour searching through the lower halls. In one room, they discovered a chamber filled with hundreds of small crystal tablets. Each one carried sound waves recorded in color. Aaron placed his device near one of them. Soft tones began to play, a melody that felt both peaceful and sad. "This is part of the Song of Life," Mira said softly. "It tells how the Valerie bound light and spirit together. If we learn its pattern, you can use it to balance the heart crystal again." Aaron listened carefully. He memorized the tone and rhythm. "If I can translate this into a wave pattern, I can project it into the heart's core." But before they could take more tablets, the lights in the room dimmed. A voice whispered through the air. It was not loud, but it echoed everywhere. "Leave my dream," it said. Mira froze. That voice. It came from the crystal. The shadows on the wall began to move. They twisted and gathered into a shape, a tall, dark figure made of smoke and light. It had no clear face, only glowing eyes that watched them. Aaron stood his ground. "You are the echo," he said. "Why are you doing this?" The voice replied slowly, as if each word took effort. "They left me here. They sang me into silence. I was their harmony, turned into their pain." Mira stepped forward. "You were part of the song. You were not meant to suffer." The echo's form shifted. "Suffering is all I remember. You cannot fix what was meant to end." The light in the chamber grew wild. Aaron pulled Mira back. "It's trying to merge with the structure again. We have to break the link." He adjusted his device and released a pulse of sound that matched the earlier melody. The echo screamed, its form twisting violently. The sound waves clashed with the dark energy, creating a storm of light and shadow. Finally, the echo vanished, leaving only silence. The crystals around them dimmed. Mira looked shaken. "It spoke to us. That means it is aware." Aaron nodded. "And it remembers everything the singers did. Maybe it's guarding something, maybe even the truth about why the crystal was made." They returned to the upper level, where the Valeri Council waited. The king looked at them with concern. "You went too far," he said. The echo's power spread through the tower again. The outer cities felt the tremors. Ouch. Aaron stepped forward. "We found the memory of the first singers. The echo was one of them. It became a shadow when their song broke. If we can restore that song, we can heal the crystal." The queen's expression softened. "You wish to use the old song? That has not been sung since before the First Age. Do you even understand its danger?" "I understand enough," Aaron said. "But I can't do it without Princess Mira. Her voice is part of this world's harmony. Together, we can recreate the lost tone." The king studied him for a long time. Finally, he said, "You are not Valerie, but the heart listens to you. You may try, but if you fail, the echo will consume all." That night, Mira and Aaron prepared. They studied the recorded tones from the ancient tablets. Mira practiced the song softly, while Aaron built a small device to project the frequencies in rhythm. When she sang, the air itself seemed to glow. Her voice carried a strange beauty, not just sound, but emotion that touched everything around her. Aaron looked at her and said, "You really are the voice of this world." Mira smiled faintly, "And you are its bridge. Without you, I could not reach the heart." When dawn came, they stood again before the heart crystal. The crack still glowed faintly red, like a wound refusing to close. Aaron set his device near the base, and Mira stepped forward. "Are you ready?" she asked. "Ready," he said. She began to sing. The melody rose and fell like waves on water. The crystal responded immediately, glowing brighter with every note. Aaron synchronized the frequencies, amplifying her song through the tower. The energy filled the air, spreading across the city. For a moment, the world felt whole again. The heart crystal pulsed in perfect rhythm. Then the light inside flickered. The echo appeared once more, but this time its form was weaker. Torn between light and shadow, Aaron focused his device and raised the sound output. "Keep singing," he said. "It's working." The echo screamed, its voice shaking the chamber. "You cannot erase me. I am their memory." Mira sang louder, her voice shining like light itself. The shadow began to fade. The crystal's cracks started to close slowly. When the song ended, silence returned. The echo was gone, and the crystal stood. The day began with a strange calm. The city's towers glimmered in shades of pink and gold as the suns rose, casting long shadows over the streets. Aaron walked beside Princess Mira through the palace gardens, each step echoing softly against the smooth crystal pathways. Flowers glowed faintly with life energy, and small streams of liquid light flowed gently between them. Aaron had begun to feel more at home among the Valeri, but the memory of the echo within the heart crystal remained heavy on his mind. Myra led him to a secluded garden chamber filled with small crystal orbs. Each orb contained a tiny pulse of light, vibrating softly. "These are the memory seeds of the heart tower," she explained. "They hold fragments of the original song of life, waiting to be sung again. If we can awaken them, the crystal may fully recover." Aaron studied the orbs, fascinated. "It is like a library of energy. Each one has its own rhythm and tone." "Yes," Mira said. "Good, but they are fragile. Disturb them too quickly and the echo will notice. It will grow stronger." He nodded, realizing the challenge ahead. He carefully touched one orb, feeling a soft vibration pulse into his hand. The memory within it was gentle, like a whisper of a forgotten melody. He adjusted the frequencies on his device to match, and the orb's light grew steady. Mira watched with admiration. "We must awaken them in sequence," she said. "The song of life is complete only when every seed resonates together." For hours they moved from orb to orb, synchronizing each with Aaron's device and Mira's voice. Every step required patience and precision. The memory seeds began to glow brighter, and soft harmonics filled the air. The palace itself seemed to respond, walls pulsing in gentle rhythm. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A deep vibration echoed from the distant heart tower. Aaron's device beeped urgently. "The echo knows we are doing this," he said. Myra's expression hardened. "Then we must act faster. If it awakens fully, the heart crystal could be destroyed." They continued their work, carefully following the sequences inscribed in the crystal floor beneath them. As they progressed, the echo began to make its presence known. Shadows flickered along the walls, forming shapes of twisted light. The whispers grew louder, more urgent. Echoing through the garden chamber, "Leave this place," the voice said, low and threatening. Aaron steadied his hands. "We cannot. The heart crystal depends on this song. We will not let you stop us." The shadows grew and swirled, forming a dark figure with glowing eyes. Reached out toward the memory seeds, trying to absorb their light. Aaron adjusted the device, sending a harmonized pulse that pushed back against the dark energy. Mira sang the corresponding melody, her voice rising with strength and clarity. The echo recoiled, its form shaking. The memory seeds glowed even brighter, casting waves of light across the chamber. Slowly, the shadow began to shrink, forced back by the harmony they created. But the echo was clever. It did not vanish completely. A dark tendril slipped past the defense, moving toward the largest seed in the center. Aaron reacted quickly, directing the energy from his device to shield it. The tendril struck, and the seed flickered violently, threatening to collapse. Mira stepped forward, her hands raised. "Ah!" She focused all her energy into her voice, extending the melody in a long, steady note. The tendril froze, unable to advance against the pure harmony. Aaron amplified the frequency, and together, Human and Valeri forced the echo back. The seeds stabilized, glowing steadily once again. Exhausted but determined, They pressed on. Each orb they awakened added strength to the network. The air was filled with harmonic energy, resonating with a power that seemed to reach the stars. Aaron realized that every small action, every careful adjustment, was restoring not just the heart crystal, the balance of the entire world. Hours passed, and the memory seeds were nearly all synchronized. Only one remained, the seed closest to the core of the heart crystal itself. Mira looked at Aaron. This one is most dangerous. The echo is strongest here. We must be ready for anything. Aaron nodded, checking his device one last time. We can do this together. Trust your voice, Mira. Trust the rhythm. They approached the final seed. The echo stirred more violently than before, forming a massive shadow that filled the chamber. The whispers became a roar, tried to overwhelm them with fear and doubt, projecting visions of failure. Aaron felt a chill, but he held firm, focusing on the patterns he had learned. Mira sang, her voice clear and unwavering. Aaron matched her harmonics with the device, extending the melody into the seed. The echo struggled, writhing and pushing against the light. But the memory seed began to resonate, radiating waves of energy that pushed the darkness back. The chamber was filled with brilliant light. The echo shrieked, its form flickering like a candle in the wind. Aaron and Mira continued, pouring every ounce of strength into their work. Slowly, the echo began to dissipate, pulled into the harmony they created. The last tendril faded, and silence returned. The final seed glowed brightly, pulsing in rhythm with the heart crystal. Aaron and Mira fell to their knees, exhausted but victorious. The entire tower vibrated softly, a gentle heartbeat spreading through the city. The energy flowed smoothly again, stronger than it had been in centuries. Mira looked at Aaron, a smile of relief and gratitude on her face. "We did it," she said softly. He nodded, breathing heavily. "Yes, but the heart will need time to fully heal. We've weakened the echo, but its memory remains. It may try to return if we are not careful." Mira placed her hand on his shoulder. "Then we will be ready. Together, we will protect the heart and ensure our world remains in balance." Yes. They left the garden chamber. The city outside shone brighter than ever. The streets were alive with light, and the people moved with renewed energy. News of their success spread quickly, and Valeri of all ages gathered to witness the restored harmony. The king and queen met them at the palace gates. The king's eyes held pride and cautious respect. "You have done what none of our kind could," he said, turning to Aaron. "You have proven that courage and understanding can surpass centuries of knowledge. Our world owes you a great debt." The queen added, "And you have done it without fear or pride. That is the true mark of a guardian." Myra stepped forward and looked at Aaron. "You are one of us now," she said. "Not by birth, but by choice and action. You have become part of the song of life." Aaron felt a warmth in his chest he could not explain. He had arrived on this world as an outsider, uncertain and fearful. Now he was trusted, respected, and seen as a bridge between humans and Valeri. He understood that his journey was only beginning. The sun set over the crystal city, casting long beams of light that danced across the towers. In the distance, the heart tower pulsed gently, a steady rhythm that promised life and balance for generations to come. Aaron stood beside Mira, looking at the glowing horizon. He felt hope, determination, and a sense of belonging he had never known before. He knew that challenges still awaited, but he was ready. With the princess by his side and the harmony of the heart crystal restored, they would face whatever came next. Humanity had proven its courage and heart once again, and Aaron had become a living testament to the power of understanding, bravery, and unity. The next morning, the crystal city sparkled like a jewel under the twin suns. Aaron stood on the palace balcony, feeling the warmth of the light on his face. After the victory over the echo, the city seemed alive in a new way. Crystals in the streets pulsed gently, and the people moved with calm energy. The heart crystal, at the center of the world, glowed steadily, its light spreading through every corner of the city. Princess Mira joined him, her expression peaceful. "The heart is stable," she said. "Your work has brought balance back to our world." Ren looked out at the towers and glowing streets. "It feels different. The city feels alive. I can almost feel the heartbeat of the planet itself." Mira nodded. "It is alive. Every being, every crystal, every melody is connected. You have touched it in a way no one else could." Later that morning, they were summoned to the royal hall. The king and queen waited, seated on their thrones. The room shimmered with soft light, and the walls pulsed with calm energy. Valeri nobles filled the chamber, their glowing forms standing tall and attentive. "You have done more than repair a crystal," the king said. "You have proven that courage and understanding can overcome even the deepest shadows. You have restored hope to our people." The queen's eyes softened as she looked at Aaron. "You have bridged the gap between our worlds. We have always believed that harmony requires balance, not only in energy but in spirit. You have shown us what that truly means." Mira stepped forward, smiling gently. "Father, Mother, Aaron is one of us now, not by birth, but by choice and action. He has earned his place beside our people." The king studied him closely. "He is human. He carries no Valeri energy naturally, yet he has worked with our song and understood it." "That is remarkable." Aaron bowed his head in respect. "I only followed the rhythm of your world. I learned from Princess Mira and from the crystals themselves. I could not have done it alone." The queen nodded. "Then we welcome you as an honored guardian of the heart crystal. You may remain here, learn, and guide us in ways we have never known." Aaron felt a deep sense of pride and humility. He had come from a small human ship, unsure of his purpose. Now he was entrusted with the protection of an entire world. He understood that responsibility, and he was ready. Mira guided him through the city afterward. They visited the Heart Tower again, this time without fear. The pulses of light were calm and steady. Aaron reached out and touched the largest crystal at the center. A warm energy flowed through him, gentle but powerful. It was as if the world itself was acknowledging his presence. "The heart is safe," Mira said quietly, "because of you." Aaron smiled. "Because of us. We work together. Harmony is never the work of one alone." As they walked through the city, people gathered along the streets, bowing and greeting them. Children ran with laughter, carrying small glowing orbs to mimic the memory seeds Aaron had awakened. The streets were alive with joy and calm energy. Valeri artisans played soft tunes on crystal instruments, blending with the natural hum of the city. Aaron could feel the melody, and it felt like part of him now. That evening, the royal council held a celebration. The main hall glowed with colors that shifted like a living rainbow. Valeri dancers moved gracefully across the floor, their movements creating small pulses of light. Musicians played instruments that resonated with the heart crystal. Every corner of the hall was filled with energy and warmth. The king raised his hand, and the music quieted. "Tonight we honor the human who restored our world," he said. "We honor Princess Mira, who guided him, and all who stood for harmony." Applause filled the hall. Aaron felt the light energy of the Valeri touch him gently, like a soft embrace. He looked at Mira, who smiled warmly. She took his hand, and together they stepped forward. "You have shown us that even a stranger can become a part of our song," she said. "You remind us that courage, heart, and understanding are as strong as any power we hold." Aaron bowed slightly. "I am honored," he said, "and I will continue to protect the heart. I will not let it falter again." The celebration continued late into the night. Outside, the city glowed softly under the stars, and the Heart Tower pulsed steadily in the distance. For the first time in centuries, the entire world felt united, balanced, and at peace. In the days that followed, Aaron worked alongside the Valeri engineers. Learning more about their technology and teaching them human methods, they combined knowledge of energy, sound, and light with practical engineering techniques. Slowly, they created tools that allowed the city to flourish even more efficiently. Mira remained by his side, guiding him and learning as well. Together, they explored hidden chambers, restored ancient devices, and strengthened the energy network of the Heart Tower. Aaron realized that this world had much to teach humanity, and in return, he could share knowledge that might one day help others across the stars. One day. While resting near the Heart Tower, Mira turned to him. "Do you ever think about your home?" she asked softly. Aaron smiled. Sometimes. But this place feels like home now, too. I have my friends here, and I have learned to understand life in a way I never imagined. You have changed our world. And perhaps one day, our knowledge will change yours as well. Aaron placed his hand gently on the crystal surface of the Heart Tower. I hope so. Harmony should not be limited to one world. Every place deserves a chance to find its song. Weeks passed and the city's energy grew stronger. Plants flourished, rivers of light flowed freely, and the citizens moved with calm and happiness. The heart crystal pulsed steadily, the echo completely subdued. The humans from Aaron's ship were eventually contacted and guided to the planet safely by the Valeri Energy Network. They arrived in time to witness the restored city. Amazed at the beauty and advanced harmony of the world, Aaron introduced them to the Valeri, to Myra. The humans marveled at the technology, the crystal structures, and the living city. Myra's people welcomed them warmly, recognizing the courage and curiosity of human minds. One evening, Aaron and Myra stood at the top of the Heart Tower. The twin suns had set, leaving the sky filled with glowing stars. The city below pulsed gently, alive and at peace. You have become more than I could have imagined, Myra said. Not only have you helped our world, but you have shown us what it means to trust and to act with heart. Aaron looked at her and smiled. You gave me the chance to try, and together we succeeded. That is what matters. The night was calm, and the air was filled with the soft hum of the heart crystal. It was steady, strong, and alive. Aaron knew that whatever challenges came in the future, he and Myra would face them together. Humanity and Valeri, different yet connected, had proven that courage, understanding, and harmony could change worlds. From that night onward, Aaron became a guardian of the heart crystal, a bridge between humans and Valeri. He walked the city streets, studied the energy networks, and taught both humans and Valeri the lessons he had learned, that balance, patience, and heart could overcome even the darkest shadows. The princess and the humans stood together, looking over their world. The heart crystal shone brighter than ever, a living testament to bravery, wisdom, and unity. Aaron knew that he had found a purpose far greater than he had ever imagined. He was no longer just a human engineer. He was part of a world, part of a song, part of a future where courage and heart could shine across the stars. And so, under the glowing skies of the Valeri world, life continued in harmony. Aaron and Myra together guided their people toward a bright and peaceful future, ensuring that the lessons of courage, trust, and understanding would never be forgotten. The heart crystal pulsed steadily, and the world thrived, a beacon of hope for all who would come to know its song.